Hey gamers, it's Wintermute here from Grind This Game, back with another, dude. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad. Dude. Fix my base. Trying to improve with my surfer speak. So this base comes from Burgy, and he actually sent me a base after this one, but I thought this one had a lot of good things to point out, and I might review his other base in the future. I haven't looked at it yet, but I looked at this one for a while. I saw some minor issues, but his main concerns were about power. And I can see some issues with power, which I'll go through. I can also see a looming water crisis if we kind of take a look at what's going on here. So he's building temp shift plates out of ice, which is good to make his water pool here filled with water. And if we look at the water that comes out of this, it goes into a carbon skimmer. He's got kind of an infinite loop going on with the bathroom, so that's fine. But all the water for his oxygen production branches off to the top here and off to the right. And so far it's okay. There's enough water. Nice oxygen setup as well going on up here. Let's just see. We got a bit of a buffer tank here, which is helping, but that's the main water supply right here. And there's nothing feeding it except for this ice. So that's kind of a big problem. That's going to cause some emergencies in the not too distant future. So I'll try to address that. He's also out of ice. If we look at liquefiable, you can see there's no ice left. So there's enough to build a few of these tiles, but that's about it. Luckily he has down here a polluted water vent, which is gushing 8.6 kilograms per second at 30 degrees, which is really useful. It is going to be active again in another 14 cycles or so. So we could sieve this water and use it for oxygen production and his water storage tank up here. But I want to check out the power grid first. So we've got, if we click on this wire, I'm using the power overlay F2, click on this wire, we can see potential power consumed 4 kilowatts. And that's on a 2 kilowatt wire. But it also goes along here and then it merges into a heavy watt wire, which is kind of not good. This can handle 20 kilowatts and is usually good for like power production rooms, but I see no reason why this should be connected to this. So what I would probably do is disconnect right here. And this is pretty much self-powering. We've got a coal generator for backup, and then we've got hydrogen generator for supplementary power. Smart batteries are set properly, looks good. Speed things up here. So I would, disconnect that. That's kind of an independent circuit. That'll run just nicely on its own. And I would disconnect this. This wire is actually not being used, so we can get rid of it. Probably shouldn't do things as priority 9. Let's do 7. Got a little bit of mopping here we can do. Don't like them walking in the water. Stress is fine. Immunity is fine. I think he's playing on an easier setting because if we look at their immunity, we can see, let's see, immunity, stress, immune system. They got the duplicate 15% per cycle, but they also have strong immune system. They all have that +5. Makes it a little bit easier. And I noticed down here in his food, if we take a look at his food, it's full of germs. 24,000 germs, 15,000 germs. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect them once they eat that food. Guess we'll find out. We could put this food in a chlorine room and kill the germs off. So if their immune system starts to tank, then I might do that, but we could actually put some food storage in here because we've got some chlorine just sitting right here, which is nice. So for now, once this water tank is empty, we're gonna have some trouble. They ran out of ice, so they're not building any more ice here. Oh, those were half built. Oops. I guess I'll put those back. But at a lower priority because we can get away with it. So there's 4,000 ice. I'll just put those back there. Pretend I didn't delete them. So let's continue looking at the power grid here. So on this power grid, still got 3.26 potential. We can see the power consumed is, it's averaging around 1,000 kilowatts. So it should be fine, depending on like what gets activated. And we've got a coal generator in the center of the base here. That's helping to supply power on a smart battery. That looks good. We probably don't need all these massage tables. I'll disable a few of them. Just to make sure we don't have an overload on the line. Got some nice, oh, we just ran out of power. Okay, so we do have a lot of power on these being drawn from these exosuits. We might want another coal generator just to supplement this power. Let's just see. Yeah, it's often going over 600 watts, so we'd probably want another one of these. Generally, I don't put them in the base, but we could put another one up here. I'll just do that so we have enough power. Do that out of gold. Oh, we're almost out of gold. Maybe over here. Or here. I think I'll just do it here. Connect that with a conductive wire, which we're kind of running low on. And then we need a logic wire to connect that to the smart battery. So that's connected to the smart battery, so we'll just go straight up from there. Now we got another power circuit over here. What's this one like? Potential power consumed 3.51 as well. So lots of potential power consumers. This one has one coal generator. And then again, we have this mixed wire here where we come along and hit heavy watt wire. I would just delete everything on that side, because we got coal generation here. I generally don't use these power control stations because they require dupe interaction, and also they add those microchips no matter what. So even if you're not getting power generated, you just kind of waste some of them. Let's take a look at jobs. There's a few dupes that aren't doing any training, so I'll just move them over to... I usually do Gopher first. Actually, let's just see what they have done. They haven't done Gopher yet, so... Do Gopher. Any other 100%ers? Nope, that looks good. So now that's an independent circuit. It's probably going to experience brownouts though, depending on the power draw. Power consumed 480, 960. Yeah, it's browning out. Quite a few machines on this. So we got, holy, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrolyzers. We don't need all of those. Generally, a 1 electrolyzer to 2 pump ratio is good. So that's going in there, going into buffer tank, coming out, and getting filtered. So what I'd probably do is get rid of... Oh, he's got some automation here. Let's just check the automation. So he's got a temperature sensor. If below 30 degrees... Oh, I see. He's making sure it doesn't run too hot. But because we don't have enough pumps, I'm going to get rid of 1, 2, 3 electrolyzers. Yeah, we got these pumps running non-stop, even though there's no pressure in here. So what I'll do is, once those get removed... Oh, we got this 4 airlock thing. This doesn't really help much. It's extremely slow. It doesn't work anymore. It used to like be a flawless way to do an airlock, but it doesn't work anymore. So we're going to get rid of 3 of those and leave 1. We got some breakage over here of some sort. Cold damage. Oh, I think we've got CO2 turning into a liquid in here. Yeah, none of these pipes are insulated. So the CO2 in the room is getting pulled in, and it's turning into a liquid in here. So we could insulate these pipes. That would potentially remove that problem, but once the CO2 is all out of here, it should sort itself out. But meanwhile, they're going to have to repair this line over and over. So let's just see. We're still browning out, I think. So I'll put another coal generator in here. This spot up here might work. Let's build a floor for that. Priority 8's good. There's not much room for it anywhere else. So gold generator. We're kind of out of gold, so I'll just use iron. I don't think it'll overheat in here. Heavy watt wire. Copper's fine. And I'll check the automation here. We want to connect this automation wire to this coal. So we'll come up this way and hook that in. And I'm going to add some automation to these pumps, I think. Because they're pumping no matter what. We could almost shrink the size of this room down. But I would probably do something like this. Automation. Atmos sensor. Right here. And then tie that to all 3 pumps. Like that. And then say only pump when the pressure is above a certain amount. Got more coal damage here. I'm going to change these pipes to insulated, just so the CO2 doesn't freeze in them. That won't become an issue later on, but for now, we'll just make sure it doesn't happen. Now you can't see what I'm drawing, but after you remove the overlay, then you can see. Now they're all freaking out here. They don't have Atmos suits on. There are Atmos suits down here. I saw down here. Oh, they're all getting destroyed from CO2 and various other bits. Yeah, this needs a filter, so we make sure we get pure oxygen. This is more likely to be pure oxygen up here, but this is cooled oxygen. And this stuff over here is going to be everything under the sun. So we need a filter right here. Gas filter to make sure that doesn't happen. And until we hook these up, let's get rid of that pipe. And put a gas filter in there. Right there. They're doing lots of stuff down here. What are they doing? They're getting gold amalgam. Okay, that's fine. So we got a filter, we gotta add some power. Select pure oxygen as the output. And then hook up an output here. Right like that. And then the input goes here. Remove this other pipe. And then everything else, it's probably CO2 or polluted oxygen. I'll just send down. Or up. Let's just see. Maybe out of the room completely. I like to use insulated pipe everywhere pretty much, so we'll do that. Maybe along here. We should do it through the floor so it's neat and tidy. right there. I'm not sure what the pressure is outside. It might not work, but pressure is 1100. That should be fine. And then we'll get them to repair these suits. Repairs like this, constant repairs, they consume metal, and eventually you'll run out of metal. Maybe that's why he's so low on metal, because this was just going on forever. This double airlock, probably redundant. Get rid of one of those. Might want to use a powered door because they go through here so often. So now we just need the other output. So we'll do insulated here, and then a bridge. I love hearing them. They're so happy. Happy little dupes. Now, no need to cool the oxygen that goes to exosuits. It's not really hurting anything, but it's a waste of energy to cool it. Still have way too much power on this line. Probably these incubators are causing some issues. Power consumed 740. I think it'll be okay though. As long as we don't use... I've disabled 2 of those massage tables. They should be fine. What's going on in here? Irrigation. Oh yeah, no water. Okay, let's take a look at our grid here again. So coal. Make that priority 8. Set the battery 100. Automation looks good. What is he doing here? What is he doing? Repairing a line, maybe? Engine. Oh, he did the engine tune-up. Okay. On this tiny power control room. I'm gonna disable this thing. Priority 9, disable. If he wants to turn it back on, he can. Well, his base has already progressed from here, so. We also have some 2 kilowatt wire along here. What's the load? Potential load is 1.71, so this is actually okay. I don't usually use mixed wire, so. We could fix it, but I'm probably just gonna leave it. And they're not building anything in this room. Are they allowed in here? Yeah. So Atmos sensor. If pressure above, we'll do 500. There we go. Below, no, above. That way the pumps won't be running even when the room is almost a vacuum. We'll save a bit of power that way. So it won't be moving tiny packets of air. I would probably truncate this room a bit. Like put the wall right here instead. Just to seal it in a bit better. But this leaves room for expansion, so we'll probably just leave it. Now we keep getting water melting. It's melting all over the place. Probably build a floor here and then just mine this out so it doesn't keep melting and dripping all over the place. Mine all this out. Maybe open up this sleet wheat so they can get to it. Yeah, they're all gonna get hypothermia in here. I would maybe put a container. Stick a storage container right here. And here. and sweep all the ice and polluted ice into those, just so it doesn't keep melting everywhere. And I would probably mine out all this stuff just so I don't have stuff dripping all over all the time. Mine this out, mine that out. Set these things to harvest. And then here, in these containers, put liquefiable. Probably sweep only. Copy that setting, and then do a big sweep in here once they've done mining. Sweep priority 7. We'll just get all that ice out of there. Sweep it into the containers, and then when it melts, it'll melt down to this little area here instead of dribbling everywhere. There we go. And then once all the ice is removed, I'd probably do a final mop. Dig this out of here. Just remove all the things that can melt or are melting. Okay, so that's done. Oh, we got lots of free food in here. I always talk about free food in these things. I'd probably open these all up so they can get to them. Got lots of algae oxygen being made here. It's kind of nice. These things are better than they used to be. So they drop the polluted water on the ground and then those gas off polluted oxygen and then deodorizers. Get it. It also destroys CO2, so that's kind of nice. Probably open this up. Give them a way to get over there. Oh, and he's building out another oxygen setup here by the nullifier, which is nice. Maybe he was going to decommission his top one. But with only 14 dupes, having all 3 online would be kind of overkill, I think. Maybe he was planning to have more dupes. I'll just leave that as is, unfinished. Unfinished project. But the power grid, let's see if it's all good now. This should never overload now. It should have sufficient power with the coal. Let's do a mop midway through here just to reduce the chances of hypothermia. And then this circuit should be fine, 1.44. This one's 3.38 still. But like I said, not everything is going to be running at once. It should be okay. Just have to keep an eye on it. Now, is this all fixed and good now? Seems to be. Getting pure oxygen in there, no more repairs needed. How's the food? Full of germs still. I haven't noticed their immunity take a hit though, so... Maybe we should tie into this though, because our water supply is pretty much gone up here. We're still making the ice, but that, like I said, it'll run out eventually. I'm gonna move this tank down because it's kind of bothering me where it is. Just move it down 1 tile. There. And I always use insulated pipe. Usually igneous rock, so we'll just use that. And because this will run out, and he probably wants to stop building all these ice things over and over, I'm gonna go down here. We already got a power line here. Oh, he has a pump here. Oh, he was just feeding reed fiber. Okay. He's feeding it regular water as well. That's kind of a problem. I'm going to tear it up for now. And replant it after we move the pump down. Because right now... Let's remove all these pipes. And I'm going to put a pump down at the bottom here of all this. Get a ladder down here. Build a tile at the bottom. And stick a pump down there. Right here. Now we could use heavy watt wire. We don't really need heavy watt wire here. This is kind of a waste of materials. Unnecessary. I wonder if I can build over it with conductive wire. Let's see. Oh, we're kind of low on gold. But for this line, I'm going to use conductive wire. And then I would replace all this heavy watt wire because we'll never have 20 kilowatts on this line. So I'd replace it all with conductive wire. Maybe he did it just because he was out of refined metal. I'm not quite sure. I thought I removed these. Maybe I didn't. Probably just clear this up a bit so things can drain easier. Let them build all that out. Probably go to super speed just to get it done. And we've run out of gold. What was I building that out of gold? Actually, it doesn't even have to be conductive wire. We'll just cancel all that. And we'll use 1 kilowatt wire out of iron. Bring that over this way. Actually, I'll just do it here. Let's see if we can up or downgrade this heavy watt wire. It should work. Priority 8. Got quite the Pacu farm going there. It's nice to see. Good lag creator. We'll get a pipe. This doesn't need to be insulated until we get close to the base, so I'll just use regular to save materials, granite. Take that up here. Actually, I might want to sieve it before I get to the main. Let's just see where we're going with this. It's going to end up here. So I'd probably use this power. Yeah, let's just do a sieve up here. Build a ramp here. Water sieve. Gold, because this thing can get hot. Right like that. That'll need power. We already have a power line, so let's just do this. Regular pipe in. Now, hot 40-degree clean water is coming out. So we'll want to insulate that. In fact, I should probably insulate all of this because it's hot water. We don't want the 40 degrees warming up surrounding areas, so we'll come out like this with insulated, and I'll just go up through the wall here, just keep it nice and tidy and out of the way. Let's see here. I think I can do it through here. And then we'll put a vent here so it doesn't overflow. Liquid vent. Right there. Oh, I cut off the power to this thing when I moved it down. Now we could potentially get rid of the second pump. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that second pump right now. So we'll have a vent and then we'll branch off. Half of it will go in this little tank so they can get pump access. Now can they reach all that? I think go faster. Probably can't reach this, so we need a little ladder there. Didn't really need that last ladder, but whatever. We'll take it back out. And I guess while we're here, let's put a proper ceiling on here. Insulated on the outside. But one thing, we can open all these doors. That'll allow them to travel around faster. We keep our room bonuses, but we don't want to open the hatch ones because they'll get out, but all these in here. Just open those all up. Bathroom 1, 2. Okay, let's see if that's working now. Okay, let's make that priority 8. This thing should be coming back in 5 cycles. We have lots of polluted water in here. Now hopefully we don't use it faster than the fish can survive. What are we storing in here? Bleach stone. More bleach stone. I might move these down just in case the water level comes down. And it doesn't seem like we need 2 containers, so I'll just stick one right down there. Do we have anything else in here? No. Consumable. Looks good. I think I might have messed up this build order. I'm gonna redo it. Sometimes... Try that again. Okay, here we go. Pump is working. 40-degree water is coming out. It's going in at 30, coming out at 40. Coming up this way. And it's dumping in here, which is actually probably bad because this water in here is going to get really hot. 40 degrees. So we could insulate it. But I also want to branch off this with insulated and tie in right here. So half will go into this tank and half will go this way. We also want to insulate all along here because this will get all hot as well. Let's insulate that. I basically use insulated pipe everywhere. Because everywhere we care about temperature, which is pretty much everywhere. I'm going to disable disinfect along here because they keep disinfecting that. Because the germs from the slime spread through. We could go in there and dig that out to prevent that, but we also reclaim all this heavy wire, so let's just do that. probably move this vent down to the bottom. Doesn't need to be this high. Yeah, I'm gonna branch here instead. Put the vent there. We don't need this wire here anymore. Let's get rid of it. This doesn't need to be heavy wire. Just replace that. Look at Harold. He can cook. Fried mushrooms. And lots of food. Oops. I think... Okay. That's all good. So it should only fill up this tank up to this bottom level. That'll give him access to water. Looks good. Now we could centralize all our power in one place and then use wire to the individual places, but I like using kind of remote coal power like this. It's pretty easy to do. They're coming in here, as you can notice, and they're picking up tiny bits of slime from these puffs. So, I don't know if he has a puff farm anywhere. I don't think he does. I probably locked them out of here. Actually, no, they need access for their coal. Otherwise, they're gonna come in here and get like little drips and drabs of polluted or slime. And I think this polluted water vent, since it gives off so much, it'll be able to keep up with all the demand on it from these two oxygen production sources. This one, oh, we got a lot of water in there. Let's go mop that up. Too much liquid. Okay, let's open the door, because that'll go underwater soon and everything will break. I'll probably do the same thing. I'll sweep up all the ice, stick it in a container where we can drain it all out. Maybe right here. Stick a container right here. That should drain into here. Now that we've removed a lot of that, let's mop that up. And we'll set this to sweep only, liquefiable. And I'll sweep up the stuff in here so that doesn't happen again. Same here. All the melty bits. Let's see if we can mop out of these tiles as well. Oh, that water's trapped. Lots of free food in here. I'd probably get in there, get all that good stuff. One thing I noticed here is we got a big hot area here seeping into our cold biome. So I might seal it off with insulated tile. We could also burn off all this hydrogen. It's kind of free hydrogen just sitting there. I don't think there's any reason to go in there, so I'd probably just do this. Do something like that. Keep them out of there and keep this cold biome nice and frozen. Now there's no nullifier here, So this area will slowly warm up over time. But we could switch to that third oxygen production area that he was making. Nice, we got a container here with coal ready to go. We could automate the delivery of coal too with conveyor belts, but probably not necessary. What's going on with the food here? No irrigation. Oh, it's only being fed from bathroom water. That's fine. That's all good. It's just backup food, I think. Just to soak up any extra water. It's a good idea. If it ever got too hot or too cold here, then that could have some problems. Because if this backs up, then the bathrooms will back up and they'll start peeing everywhere. Let's do a final mop here, since all the ice is picked up. This whole macro circuit could be conductive wire. Doesn't need to be heavy watt wire. I think he was asking too, like, what should he do next? So, next projects, he could tie into this. Start some natural gas power. That's like a whole thing on its own. I don't think I'd actually do it in this video, but I could. But I don't want it to get too long. I'd probably, from this direction, I'd probably dig in, because they'll use exosuits along here. Dig up into here, use a liquid lock to get in here. And build some natural gas generation close by. Maybe in this area, there's a nice big area you could dig out. So he's storing polluted dirt in this box. I guess that's gassing off and feeding the puffs, which is dropping slime down. Let's move our bleach stone down. Copy settings. Get rid of these two containers. We may use all this water up. I don't think so. We could do some math to figure out how much water is being used by all these. These use, let's see, 1,000 grams per second, but they don't run non-stop. So 2 kilograms per second there, plus 2 kilogram or 1 kilogram, so 3 kilograms total for just the oxygen. That's kind of the main demands. So that should keep up with a geyser that's doing 8, that's on kind of half the time. We could build buffer tanks to help this along. Like, do a couple liquid tanks just in case this all dries up between dormant periods. I think it'll be okay though. So nice little base. I didn't look at the room overlay yet, but we got massage clinic, med bay, great hall, barracks. Oh, plastic. He could get into oil and plastic next. That would be a good project. He hasn't been down in the oil yet. So he could continue. Is he using? No, these dupes aren't using exosuits down here. To dig into the oil, you definitely want exosuits because it's like 90 degrees and the dupes will burn. So what he could do is use this exosuit dock, come down this way, and maybe come down, like put a wall here and then come down this way. Or come through here. This would be a good point actually. Right through here. Yeah, I do something like this probably. Dig this way. down through here. Probably just go all the way down right into the oil. Yeah, so get down there. That's gonna get... Oh, that'll just get dug up on the way down. Probably go all the way down. Just keep going. Down into the abyss. And then find a low point where all the oil is settling. Build a pump. Pump the oil up, and then maybe do oil refining in here, or... It's got a big giant space here you could use. Oil refining into petroleum, and then petroleum into plastic. And then with the plastic you can build plastic beds and get the better bedrooms. You can build tubes to jet dupes around. This might actually potentially break here, but probably not. I would maybe reinforce it just in case. They should be able to get up there, yep. Might get trapped there. Being dupes. But I'm not going to be able to get into the whole oil thing this episode. And I've shown it in other episodes, so I think we kind of solved his main concerns. The power grid's fixed. The water problem's fixed. And the next steps would be oil. And I'm actually going to add to my tutorial series an episode on just how to deal with oil and make petroleum and all that good stuff. I'll be adding that in the next week or so. So hope you enjoyed that episode. Hope you found it informative. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.